Hello, Max here and welcome to Bluewatch. It's been a little while since we visited the Overwatch forums, but there really hasn't been anything to report on. Even now I feel like I'm scraping the barrel a little, but I don't want you guys to feel like I'm not doing these anymore. Today we'll be looking at why there's no minimap, Tracer's lack of blinking up, Jeff Kaplan's take on win percentages, and defense favoured Eichenwald. But first, Mofo Man is not happy with the draw mechanic. I thought draws were supposed to happen rarely, but I've gotten 3 times in the time I've been playing today. This is crap. He then goes on to rant about getting less than half the currency, although he does concede that it is better than coin flip. I personally have no problem with the draw mechanic. They are impossible on control maps, they are incredibly unlikely on payload maps. The only way for them to happen is for neither team to move the payload at all, and I think I've seen 2 on assault maps. Assault maps are the most common because it is possible to have the same score at almost any stage of the map. Just because some weird variance caused you to draw 3 games in one day doesn't mean the system is broken. I wonder if draws are more or less likely at different skill levels. Despite being a generally attacking favoured game, at lower skill rating the defending team are naturally grouped up and end up coordinating through circumstance, compared to the attackers who want to all play Genji and think they can 1v6. This means defences are often more successful, and so there could be a lot more draws at lower skill rating where neither team captures the first objective. Jeff Kaplan says they're only seeing draws in 6% of the competitive games played, however they are prepared to revisit sudden death if players are dissatisfied with draws. None of us want coin flip back, and I'm sure Team 4 are more than aware of that, but the solution would be tricky. Something that keeps the game length to a minimum but at the same time has a 100% chance of determining a winner. During closed beta we would play a random single point of a control map. That would be a far better solution than coin flip, but the game length could considerably increase, especially if both teams are very evenly matched, and what the hell does sudden death on Lijiang Tower have to do with a game drawn on King's Row? Players will have map preferences and you still have a coin flip-like aspect here with randomly choosing a control map. Perhaps draws are the lesser of all the evils, and if you just happen to be unlucky and have several in one day, well, maybe save getting angry until you have many in a week. Next up, Bullgrit asks, if I have a 45% win rate on Hero X and a 60% win rate on Hero Y, does that mean I'm better with Hero Y? Does it tell me anything? Jeff Kaplan replied to say, stats are a useful tool, but you have to be careful not to read too much into them. I have a 70% plus win rate on one hero that I know I'm not particularly good at, but it's a hero I tend to play when my team is already doing well or I am on a very good team. One of my best characters has a very low win rate because it is my tilt character, the hero I switch to when the match is probably already lost and my team is not coordinating. The end result of both of these behaviours is some pretty skewed stats. I don't really have much to add to this, I just thought it was something worth thinking about when we consider our win rates on certain heroes. From hero win rates to map win rates, Epsilon took to the forums to bring up something I know a lot of people feel. Eichenwald is a little too defense favoured. He brings up Objective A as difficult to take, and then the first checkpoint after taking the objective has flanks that favour the defence more. This is a great example of different experiences for different people. I find Objective A very difficult to defend in the current meta. It's very easy for the attackers to swarm through the choke with a Lucio speed boost, and as with most any non-control maps at the moment, if you throw a nano-boosted Reinhardt at the objective, it can be very hard for the defence to slow it down. In fact, the only area I find difficult to attack is the final checkpoint. Even so, I feel this is still a learning period, and as I play the map more and more, I should start to see reliable ways to attack it. Jeff Kaplan responded with his statistics, as he always likes to do, and says they're seeing the first objective captured 75% of the time. The only hybrid map to have a higher Objective A capture rate is King's Row at 82.8%. I love these kind of statistics as it gives some insight as to what they feel is balanced when it comes to map objectives. Jeff also said they have adjusted the speed of the payload to help with the problems attackers are facing at checkpoints 1 and 2. Next up, Munbalanced, a player with a great taste in heroes, asks why Tracer cannot blink vertically. We see her do it in the animated shorts, why can't we do it in game? Jeff replied to say, we experimented with this concept when first creating the blink ability. Not only was the balance off, but it changed the hero in so many core ways. They experimented with it. That must have been crazy fun to play, but completely broken. Why would you ever need Genji in the game if Tracer could blink up? One of her few weaknesses is a lack of verticality. If she could easily move between the high and low ground, she could get anywhere on the map, and she's hard enough to hit when she's blinking in 2 dimensions. As much as I'd love to play that Tracer, I think it would be just a little overpowered. And finally, we will not be getting an in-game minimap at any point. Jeff stated, "We don't have any plans for adding a minimap to the game. Eventually we would like to add a map for observers in esport broadcasting, but this is way off. Our reasoning for not adding a minimap is that players claim they want this to solve navigation issues, but more often than not, minimaps in FPS with small maps like Overwatch do not actually help you learn the map much quicker than just playing it a few times. What tends to happen is players demand more and more information on the minimap, enemies in particular. What was originally intended to help newer players actually becomes a very high-skill player tool. Ask any MOBA or COD player how important the minimap is to competitive play. We definitely agree that helping newer players learn the maps is a worthy cause. We just disagree that adding a minimap to the game is the proper solution." I couldn't agree more with this. When a minimap with vital information is placed in the game, the minimap needs to constantly be observed, and it's a factor I've always found to be anti-fun in games like League, where it is core to the gameplay. I want my focus to be on what is in my direct vision, with audio cues to help me have a better understanding of my surroundings. And that about wraps up this Bluewatch. This is the most interesting stuff I could find from the last 3 weeks. I guess post-Gamescom has just been a little quiet. Hopefully Sombra is coming sooner rather than later and we'll have something interesting to get hyped about. You can follow me on Twitter at TotallyFutile, and a big thank you to everyone who is supporting this small channel on patreon.com/cynicalnerds. You guys keep this channel going. Until next time, take it easy, and I'll see you soon.